It's always a good day when the new Epic Encounters boxes arrive. It's become a kind of a game around here to guess what the next set will be, and here they are. Forest of the Damned and Glade of the Evil Oak. So tree folk or treants or ents or whatever you want to call them. This is also really timely because I've been really interested in the Floral Dragon split from our sponsor Hit Point Press, which features an antagonist fungal dragon that corrupts nature. So I think using these together can make for a really interesting series of adventures. But today we're going to start with the minion box Forest of the Damned. If you are somehow new to the Epic Encounters line, these are adventures in a box. You get minis, maps, and an adventure booklet. So all you need to bring to the table are dice, the free D&D 5e rules that you can learn online, and some players. The adventure includes rules to change up the level of the adventure so you can tailor it to your adventuring party. They're great for one-shots, for expanding and improving whatever campaign you're running, or for a little side adventure. The minion box and the boss box are standalone, but they're thematically and lightly narratively linked so you can continue from the minion box to the boss box if you want to. I did a whole overview of the Epic Encounter series that you can see up there in the corner, and we'll cover the Glade of the Evil Oak in our next video. So with thanks to Steamforged Games for sending these our way to review, let's check out Forest of the Damned. Enhance and improve your 5e games today with Hit Point Press. Explore the whimsical dark carnival setting of Hecna. Will you see through the glitzy charade or fall prey to Hecna's everlasting torment? Or enhance your 5e games with animated spell, condition, and townsfolk cards. Add a slew of creative and gorgeously illustrated magical items with the Griffin Saddlebag. And face down more than 30 innovative 5e villains with their big book of big bads. Learn more today at Hit Point Press by using our link in the corner or down below. Inside the box, as always, we have our adventure booklet, a little advert, a double-sided map, and our minis. This time, 17 minis in 6 different sculpts, 13 mediums, and 4 larges. Let's take a closer look. This used to be such a nice forest, just a lush and thriving wildwood, but then a malignant shadow started spreading through the woods, infecting plants and animals alike, turning the forest into a nightmare. Our basic treefolk foot soldier is the Sprout Scout, who has a fairly standard claw attack and who can also attack with a bow with poisoned arrows. Each Epic Encounter set has a variety of origin stories for the plot for you to choose from to fit your own narrative. Maybe a dark sorcerer corrupted the forest as a layer of protection for its home at the center of the wood. The treefolk Brute here is a sapling warrior with magic resistance and a body slam attack that can knock foes prone. He can also punch twice a turn, and that's a punch with a 23 strength behind it. Perhaps a druidic order protected the forest, but as threats became dire, they ended up tapping into something evil that corrupted the land that they were meant to protect. Some of the tree folk developed casting abilities. The seedling warlock here can tree stride and cast spells such as invisibility, hold person, counterspell, and charm person. Maybe a vengeful witch or a hag tainted the woods in which they live. Moving on to our large creatures, the Bramblekin looks a bit more like an unintelligent beast, but it's still a sapient creature with the ability to speak Elvish, Sylvan, and Common. It can also entangle foes, and it has advantage against those that it's grappled. Or perhaps 2 mighty wizards once fought here, corrupting the land that served as their battleground like the mana waste from Pathfinder. This is the Dark Dryad, another caster with Tree Stride and spells like Shillelagh, Whole Person, and Barkskin, naturally. But it also has a strong charm ability that can turn an adventurer against their own party. Or maybe this is the home of an evil lich who has raised an army of undead from travelers who have lost their lives exploring his corrupted forest. Finally, we have our very simply named Evil Treant, which can frighten anyone nearby and can animate nearby trees, which you handedly have minis for in this set. Here is the double-sided map. On the one side, you have the labyrinthine entrance to the wood. The players start in the lower left-hand corner and make their way through. The path is bordered by an impenetrable hedge. If players attempt to enter it or get knocked into it, you have a d6 rolling table to see what happens to them. And they're all bad news. The players will eventually encounter a river that's moving with much more strength than seems natural given the terrain. There's also pit traps, ambushes, and a mysterious bridge. The opposite side has the dark inner heart of the wood. The party has to continue pushing through the gauntlet with not only more combat, but trickery. The dryads appear with an offer that's hard to refuse. A large wooden chest beckons them into a shadowed grove. And then the evil treants appear. Once they're defeated, it's up to you as a game master to determine what happens next. Do they need to push further into the wood to find the big bad, or is the objective they're seeking just around the next bend? As always, there are several adventure hooks offered to help tie the story into your ongoing campaign. Some options include having the party attempting to find a treasure-laden verdant grove at the center of the haunted forest, or perhaps it's a natural spring with healing waters that they're looking for. Or maybe there's an ancient library at the heart of the wood with powerful magics, and there's a couple of other options as well. When you're reading through this book, you may notice a couple of rather subtle differences. Up until now, the lead writer for the series has been Richard August, but the head designer and writer on this box is singer, songwriter, and D&D ambassador Jason Charles Miller. And this is a really fun set, even though it isn't one of the enemy groups that I expected. But man, corrupted plants are really useful foes to have. You can use these in almost any adventure. The heroes are always headed into a dark wood of one kind or another, and big bads love corrupting nature. I don't have a ton of blights or similar treants in my collection, so this fills a gap too. The encounters and the adventures in the booklet are ones that you can incorporate into almost any adventure or campaign that you're running. Whatever MacGuffin or quest you have is eventually going to require a trip through the haunted forest. And now you have a box to pull off your shelf to save you a lot of time and give your players a memorable experience. And man, if you haven't seen my review of that Floral Dragons book, check it out. It's up there in the corner, because you can take that book and these Epic Encounter boxes and some of those Floral Dragon minis and create a whole nature-based mini campaign. I did a video about the Bamboo A1 3D printer in December that I used to print out a bunch of Floral Dragon minis like these, so you can check that out as well if you're curious about making your own minis at home. It's a lot easier than it used to be, but all these things combined just work so well with each other. I need to see if we have any other corrupted nature minis or books that we can use to flesh out this campaign that I'm putting together here in my head. I might have an idea for a few more things, so stay tuned for that. Also, the cover of the box also shows one easy way you can paint these up. I'm no mini painting expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I think this is called slap chop painting. It's a silly name, but it's a quick and easy technique where you prime black, dry brush progressively lighter grays and whites to pre-highlight the model, and then apply transparent paints like contrast or speed paints over on top so it highlights it and the shadows show through automatically. You can find a lot of guides about it online on YouTube, so you can go check it out. The only mild criticism I have of this box is once again the maps. I mean, they're certainly thematic and functional, and they're well painted and nicely detailed, but maybe this set just requires a dire map, but I kind of miss the bright and beautiful maps that we've gotten in the past. Another plus though, like the minis and the encounters, you can reuse these maps all the time. They're not that specific. Epic Encounters Forest of the Damned will be available on February 20th for an MSRP of $55. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Stay tuned here for my review of the Boss Box, Glade of the Evil Oak, coming up here in a couple of days. And check out the Floral Dragons using that link in the corner or down below too. For now though, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.